Talking about now?
The beard.
The beard. Oh
The
my
beard.
God, the Amish
You cutting that
beard.
thing out down or what?
I might trim it down soon.
Yeah.
I have to fill in the gaps here.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, you're not approving.
Yeah, it looks good, dude.
No, it doesn't. You're making me all self-conscious. All right, so today we're going to be talking about spot price, specifically, gold and silver. We don't pay attention. Well, you do. I don't pay attention to platinum and all that other stuff, but
It's not as important.
not as important. At
sure
least
we're gonna
not
get tons
to.
of
Yeah,
comments
we
on
will. What do you mean? Platinum's not
This guy don't
important.
know what he's talking about.
But gold right now, as we record this video, it'll probably drop in a couple of weeks. So right now we're at around $23.48 for gold. We're at $30.53 for silver. So 2 or 3 weeks from now, it could be anywhere. We don't know. But that being said, it's been at these higher numbers for a while. What are you seeing with buying and selling with your customers? And for those of you that are watching, just know Andrew doesn't really deal retail so much. He does more business to business and wholesale. And I typically deal more with retail. So it's kind of good. Like you'll get both takes on what we're seeing. So from the business side, with all the different companies and stuff that you deal with, what are you seeing?
Anything low premium.
Anything low premium?
But everything's still pretty low premium, but they're going with the lower stuff. A lot of calls for Cougarans. They're the lowest.
That was the first shot. You nailed it on the first one. So
Eagles
proud.
and Buffaloes still have a higher premium. They've come down a little bit, but you know what? They just don't want to pay that little bit of extra money at all-time highs. So a lot of Eagles not moving, Buffaloes not moving, but Cougarans, Maple Leafs.
What about Philharmonics?
Britannias? Pretty low premium stuff,
Oh, you're talking the gold.
Yeah, gold.
What about
silver? 100-ounce bars are going, but I'm selling them cheap, too cheap,
But you have to almost,
yeah, you got
right?
to move them right now. I had a couple of big deals with monster boxes of generic rounds.
I saw the picture of you, the hand truck, everything stacked up taller than you.
Somebody sold me a lot, but I got right now too. Silver is really volatile. So
Yeah,
a lot of people really scared to buy. That load that day, I was over 4,500 ounces. The last 1,500 ounces, I didn't lock in at all. The next day, it dropped $1.25.
I remember.
I was like,
you were down like $2,000.
Oh my God! And now, I sold off 500 ounces. It went back up. I sold off another 500 ounces. Now I'm stuck with the last 500 ounces. And but retail and wholesale, you get a little bit of a premium over what I paid for it. So there's a little bit of a cushion there. But
so the
definitely
low
volatile right
stuff.
now. And I understand why they want to back off a little bit. I have no idea. People ask me about silver. I have no idea where silver's going. Wouldn't surprise me if it went to 35. Wouldn't surprise me if it dropped to 20. 20. Yeah, who really knows? I'm really shocked.
At least
gold is still holding, over 2,300. And looks
yeah,
like it's going
for
higher
a long period too. We've been above 2,300 for at least a 6 weeks, 4 weeks at least.
Pretty crazy. But 1 ounce bars. My last deal was just 15 1 ounce gold bars. So whatever I can get cheapest was their what they wanted.
Whatever they could get cheapest from you.
From me, yeah. So I charged them. I was spot plus $30 for 1 ounce gold bars.
Okay. That is very cheap. That's cheap. Pretty much right on par with wholesale.
Yeah.
Because then, guys, so just so you know, he has to buy
it. Order it.
Right.
It has to be shipped. I have to pay about
you
wire
have to pay
transfer.
you have to pay for shipping.
It's a nightmare.
So yeah, you're shelling out. You're acting as the middleman here, and you're essentially your fee is doing the transaction, but you also assume. Well, I guess they assume the rest
on the wholesale end. So half he paid me with scrap gold. Other he paid me with gold coins that he had. It's like
it's a wheel and deal thing.
Oh my God, I hate deals like that. They're
so
confusing.
Because then you got to do like, oh, this is worth this much. I can give you this much for this.
Right.
That's a pain in the neck.
So annoying.
That's a pain in the neck.
It is what it is, and
that takes up a lot of time. That takes up a lot of time.
We should do a video on all these requests some of these people have. They want to be paid in golds. They want to,
I have offered many times to record the transactions, but you don't want to.
Yeah, I don't know if any of them want to be on camera. Well, I'm sure we'll find one eventually.
What we should do is have, like,
just set up
a sheet.
Can you blur out their faces?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can blur out their faces, or you don't even have to have the camera on them.
Just have it on me.
Yeah. And you can blur them out, and you can
Get me testing scrap gold.
you could do
That's what
that.
I do most of the day, just sitting there separating carats and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You could do that. It might be interesting too. People might want to see that, but we would have to, when I first met you, I had you sign that waiver that all of the video footage and everything that we recorded is I'm the owner of it, and like it's the same sort of thing, like a video release form. It's like standard stuff, but have that on there and like, hey, how do you feel if we record this? And if the camera's just on you,
yeah, they shouldn't care.
They shouldn't really care so much. You're like, we'll leave out your
Start
name.
asking them.
Start asking. At least ask the people that you know would be more open to it. At least not even being on camera. Like, no, just, Matt would come in and just record me, and it's just the deal back and forth. And because people, they would want to see those transactions.
Sure,
There's some channels I've seen on YouTube where they just, I know Trax NYC just has a camera just facing the counter, and it's just like a live stream, and it's just the deals that are just happening. And those watch channels on TikTok, it's just the deals. So that's what I was saying. Like,
interesting.
Yeah. Plus, like if you blur
Let us
them
know
out,
if you want to see that crap.
they're like, hell yeah, I want to see it. So you've been seeing people a little bit more skittish in terms of the buying. They're sticking to low premium. And how about the volume? Is the volume backed away?
Volume slowed down a lot. Selling, buying's like, man, really gone crazy the last couple of months.
Yeah.
Still buying big volume. The problem is a lot of it just gets sold wholesale.
Right. So guys,
I buy it, I call it in and sell it. I don't sit on it and try to sell it on my website.
He sells
wait
it
for people to come to the door asking for it. A lot of times I just, to do away with the risk. If you came in, sold me 10 ounces of gold, I call and sell 10 ounces of gold.
Right away.
That's it. I
do
make
you
my
do
little
it?
bit
Do
of
you
money
do it as soon as they're on while they're here
a lot
with
of times
you?
right in front of me.
Do you call them, or you just place the sell purchase right on the site?
It depends on who I'm selling to. Some places don't have
that other wholesaler,
like back end platforms and stuff like that.
Right. So you just call it in. Hey, can I lock in on 10 ounces at X amount, and then boom,
done.
Do
it right from that.
Then
price.
you just pay them out, and then you go, and then you get paid out from them when you bring it to them, locked in on that price.
Which is the right thing to do.
That's the only logical way that it could
right
work.
now. Like it wouldn't pay for me to sit on stuff because
that's when I was surprised when you
right
sat on the 1500. You were gambling.
You know what? That was just dumb luck.
You were
I just
gambling.
got busy.
No,
I said I'll lock it in a little bit. But when I went to check on it, it was like past the time to lock in the prices, and I said, you know what? I'll lock it in tomorrow.
Let it ride.
Like, oh my God, it dropped. I seen it in the morning. It was down 60 cents. I was like, man. What the hell?
Guys. So on like a couple thousand ounces, 1,500 ounces,
it definitely adds up.
I've noticed similar trends on the retail side. People going more towards like more generic stuff. They'll still buy the collectibles.
Do you have a lot of generic stuff on the site?
Usually, no, not on my site. No, just on the auctions, I'll sell some of the generic stuff. Like I'll get from different sources. I'll sell the generic stuff. Just as like extras, just to have it.
Right.
My bread and butter is the semi-numismatic stuff because at least there's a little bit more wiggle room there with premiums. But I'm seeing the volume. I'm seeing the margins shrink significantly. Like a coin, let's say that I could sell for $38, and maybe it cost me $33 to buy. Right. Well, now that coin costs like $35 to buy, maybe because spot's now at 30 something, and they're not feeling comfortable spending that $38 that they used to. Now they're like maybe 30. They'll pay 36 for it. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like my margin on what I'm paying for it is going up, and what I can sell it for is coming down. So it's shrinking on both ends. It's tricky. So what's helped me with that is because I've been buying. I constantly have a rolling inventory that's coming in, more stuff. And so for me, luckily, I've locked in and purchased on some of those things before spot went up. So I'm still making some profits. It's just I won't be able to replace the stuff. It's stuff that like a lot of dealers always look at their replacement costs when they're selling stuff. So if I'm going to sell you this eagle at $280, I know like oh, my cost is 270. Okay, I'll sell it to you for 280. I could clear $10. I go and I place the order and buy it again for 270, right?
Yeah.
For these things, once I'm gone, they're gone, they're gone. That's it. And I'll just continue to buy stuff on wholesale and make my margins that way. But I've noticed people just also it seems to be like people have tightened up on the purse strings a little bit.
100%. A lot of the
Plus,
people I see buying are the same people.
right.
You know, there's like they don't give up on metals.
No,
You know,
it's
they
it's
just keep
ingrained in
buying.
them. They just
Yeah.
buy it no matter what.
But not a lot of new blood, not a lot of new customers I've been
Agreed.
seeing, you know.
Agreed. Do you and I have this type of customer, I always call them the whales, where you'll have a customer come in to the live stream and they will spend a crazy amount of money for about, I would say, 3 months.
No, that's it.
And then after about 3 months,
They had their fill.
they've had their fill. They move on.
Yeah, I see that a lot.
Do you in
Yeah.
your
Yeah,
industry,
sure.
like on your side of things?
Not so much dealers, but I get big people call and want, you know, to order 1,000 ounces of silver,
Right.
50 ounces of gold. You know, I take calls from the public here and then when it's
Right.
worth it. For
But you'll
them,
do,
you
but
know.
and then you can also work it through the website or whatever
Yeah,
you need
yeah,
to.
yeah.
So yeah, the whales. I'm noticing
They either buy big, right? They buy big.
they
for
buy
a
big
while,
for
then they lose
about
interest
2-3
in it.
months, and then they
Yeah,
move on,
yeah.
and then
I
that's
get that
it.
a lot.
So I've had the longest time I've ever had like a whale. I call it the whale lifespan of 3 months. There's one guy for like 6 months. He was consistently like the biggest spender because this is when I would keep track of each night, like who won the evening. Like I would have a champion of the evening, like who had the most amount of items purchased, and it was consistently the same person for about 6 months.
I was just telling someone this story. Once I had a doctor as a customer.
Yeah.
He calls me one day and he says, "Listen, I want a tube of 20 American Gold Eagles every Friday until I tell you to stop." And he kept it going for months, man. You know?
Really?
Yeah.
And
He
then
died, unfortunately.
that's what happened to my
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, that happens too. You know, we were talking about the businesses failing before too. A couple of my customers passed and like had decent businesses, and like their kids and their family weren't able to
Continue
run it
on.
the same way he did, and
Right.
like
It
see them
changes.
go under. You know, and that's the thing too with this business. A lot of them just come in and do business with you. You know, like once you're out of the picture,
That's it.
It's done. You know.
Yeah. So with this shift in the premium shrinking and these uncertain spot prices, right? This level of hesitancy that people have, what's the strategy?
Ugh.
Do you just go with the flow and you kind of like because you can't control the market?
I agree with a lot of the people are doing right now, buying the low premium stuff. I always push that, just because it just moves with spot.
Right.
You know, if you would have bought Eagles, you know, I don't know if you've been watching the wholesale cost on the silver Eagles. They're going up.
They're up. They're
up
like
ridiculous.
30. I've seen retail now at $38
You know,
each.
I get people
39.
keep asking me, "Do you have Eagles in stock?" I'm like, no, I won't even sell people Eagles $6 over spot.
Right.
I just think it's like a terrible investment.
I
don't know.
agree. I
And
don't.
don't get me
really-
wrong, the premium did go up in the past and stuff like that, but I hate pushing that high premium stuff on people. You
I
know?
agree with you with the Eagles.
I
was
wouldn't
thinking
pay that high.
when Eagles
know.
came down to around $30 each. It's like, okay, now I guess you could start
$2
buying them.
change.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like when it was like spot was 27, and you could get them for 30 or 31.
Right.
Like, all right, now is not bad. If you ever really wanted to buy the Eagles, now's the
Now's
time. Now is not the time, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
And I'm getting people want to buy monster boxes.
Of Eagles?
Yeah, Eagles, and I said, listen, man, this is like thousands over the silver price. Definitely not worth it. You know, and like a lot of times
I'm
they
sure
don't care.
really
They
just want them.
Eagles, man. They don't care. You know, I
What
always
would
advise against it.
What would you say would be like the silver coin of choice? Krugerrands?
Nah,
Maples,
you know what? I'd
Phils?
go with those are all sovereign stuff. Still
That's
has
what I'm
high
asking you.
premiums.
But I'm asking you out of all of
Buffaloes.
those. No. I'm
1
not
ounce
talking.
Buffaloes.
I'm not talking
Whatever's
about the
cheapest,
rounds.
probably Cougarans.
Krugerrands and like Philharmonics and
Philharmonics.
and
You
not
know?
even Maples as much.
Yeah, Maples are low too right now. Nah, there's still a couple dollars over.
Do you guys buy typically the bars and like just generic stuff
yeah,
like he's
the
saying,
sovereign stuff,
or do you buy
or
just
generic,
sovereign nations?
whatever you
Yeah.
can get closest to spot.
Let us know
you
in the
know.
comments below. But yeah, man, I just I've been there before where the whales come and go. That's nothing new. But this is uncharted territory with these
Yeah,
spot prices being where they are,
especially gold.
gold
I mean,
staying
we
where it
waited
is
forever for it to hit all-time highs, and like it went hundreds of dollars over.
in a,
You know, and
in a matter of
yeah, it's
months.
really like who knows where that's going. It could go higher, but don't if it went back down to all-time highs, we drop
Would
hundreds of dollars.
would you
You know,
correct? Would you advise people to stick to fractional gold now, being that or would
nah,
you still say 1 ounce?
yeah, 1 ounce. Unfortunately, I know it costs a lot of money, but I don't know the fractional stuff. They just kill you online retail.
That's true.
It's
Which is why
the
you guys should be
premiums.
buying from me.
Yeah, there you go.
EmpirePreciousMetals.com.
But they rake them. They rape them
Yeah.
on the low premium stuff. The 1 gram gold, that's 2.5 grand, 5 grand. That's a pretty hefty premium.
I always say like nothing really less than a tenth ounce, 10th and quarter ounce. I find that half ounce like nobody buys. I feel like that's like a random size that nobody mess with.
1 cent.
No, half.
Oh, half ounce.
Like you ever really get any people asking you for half ounce
Either
gold
1/10.
eagles?
Yeah.
It's either 1/10 or quarters or full ounces. I never get people like, oh, you got halves. I'm like,
yeah, no.
I never get that request. No. I actually don't even own any. I used to, but yeah, guys, let us know in the comments below. Which do you prefer to buy? Number one, number two, in terms of number one in terms of do you prefer coins, government backed, currency, or do you prefer the generic stuff, just bars or what have you? And then the second thing is like fractional. Do you prefer fractional or do you like full 1 ounce or higher?
I like ounce. Ounce is just easier.
It is easier.
Simple math. X amount of ounces, X amount of dollars.
Yeah. Well, let us know in the comments down below, guys.
Yep. Have a good weekend.
Check out. Well, you got to plug your
Bayshore Bullion Exchange.com.
Yeah, and EmpirePreciousMetals.com. Thank you. And every Tuesday, tune into the channel, guys. 6 p.m. Eastern. I have my live stream auctions, and I'll see you guys next Sunday.
Yep.